morning to one and all. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Narayan Rao Kovur. In this video, we will understand concepts of national income. What is the meaning of national income? What are the concepts of national income? So, national income means total market value of all the final goods and services produced in a country during a given period of time, usually one financial year. This is called national income. In other words, so in general, a country's income is calculated by summing up the aggregate value of all final goods and services produced in a country during one financial year is also called national income. Next, concepts of national income. One is GDP market price. GDP market price also called GDP, nominal GDP, GVA, gross value added, or gross value added at market price. These are the other names of GDP market price. What is the meaning of GDP market price? It is the value of all final goods and services produced in the country with a given period, including depreciation. This is called GDP market price. In other words, it is the sum of the quantities of final goods times current prices is called GDP market price. Right. So GDP market price is equal to value of output minus intermediate consumption. GDP market price is equal to value of output minus intermediate consumption. So how to calculate value of output if not given? When sales are given and change in the stock is given, we add both sales and change in the stock, then you get value of output. If how to calculate change in the stock? So closing stock is given and opening stock is given. So closing stock minus opening stock, then you will get a change in stock. So sales plus change in the stock, then you will get a value of output. Next, what is intermediate consumption? So expenditure on raw material, expenditure on inputs, so telephone charges, transport charges, next advertisement charges, repairs and maintenance of machinery, etc. etc. Those are called intermediate consumption. So GDP market price is equal to value of output minus intermediate consumption. Then you will get GDP market price. So GDP market price increases over time for two reasons. For two reasons, GDP market price increases. One is increase in the prices of most goods. Increase in the prices of most goods. GDP market price increases. Second one is increase in production of most goods. Increase in the production of most goods. These are the two reasons there is a GDP market price increases. This is something the information regarding GDP market price, gross domestic product market price. Next, second one is real GDP. Real GDP. So real GDP is the sum of the quantities of final goods times constant prices. Constant prices are decided by the government. So real GDP means it is the sum of the quantities of final goods times constant prices is known as real GDP. So real GDP is equal to nominal GDP into 100 by price index. So how to calculate real GDP? So real GDP is equal to nominal GDP into 100 by price index. Then you will get real GDP. Here we are going to stress one more important concept that is called GDP deflator. What is the meaning of GDP deflator? It is nothing but a measure of inflation. Measure of inflation. That is called GDP deflator. So GDP deflator, so an index that shows the change in the price level of all final goods and services produced in an economy. This is called GDP deflator. It is an index that shows the change in the price level of all final goods and services produced in an economy is called GDP deflator. So it measures inflation in the economy. GDP deflator measures inflation in the economy. Inflation means continuous rise in price level is called inflation. Next. So GDP deflator is used to deflate or take inflation out of GDP. This is called GDP deflator. If GDP deflator is expressed as nominal GDP to real GDP, if GDP deflator is expressed as nominal GDP to real GDP, so GDP deflator is equal to nominal GDP divided by real GDP into 100. Then you will get GDP deflator. Next, when price index used to convert nominal GDP to real GDP, when price index used to convert nominal GDP to real GDP, so nominal GDP is equal to real GDP into price index by 100. So real nominal GDP is equal to real GDP into price index by 100. Then you will get nominal GDP. Next, to find inflation rate between two consecutive years. To find inflation rate between two consecutive years. How to calculate means inflation rate in year is equal to GDP deflate in year second year minus GDP deflator in first year. GDP deflator in second year minus GDP deflator in first year divided by GDP deflator in first year into 100. Then you will get inflation rate in the year. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe and comment.